I could not believe his jumping power when I watched him the first time. Steve Terada is one of the most accomplished forms competitors of all time. Started practicing Tang Soo Do at a young age and progressed his career as not only a martial artist, but a stuntman, actor, and Emmy Award winning dancer with his teammates at Quest Crew. This is Steve Terada for the Bruce Willow Podcast. Whenever I see you doing anything, pretty much for that matter, I always get like a little bit nostalgic because I used to buy all those black and blue video productions, you know, of the tournaments, of the martial arts instruction and the best of the tournaments. So I remember having the 98, 99, 2000s best of. And you were always featured in like almost all of them. So I was like, oh man, this is such a trip to find you guys like nowadays on Instagram, on Facebook, and watching you guys doing still, you know, like banging all the tricking and wow, that's amazing, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like I feel like especially like our era, I guess, was like the first of the pass around really short internet clip videos before like YouTube and all that stuff too. So it's like the start of the internet age.
I remember downloading like musical forms from you and even a little bit earlier, like from David Douglas, Kim Do, John Valera, and taking a shitload of time to actually downloading a single 1 minute clip. I remember that so vividly, and I was like, but that was kind of what paved my way because I was there from the start as well, you know, like in training from the get-go of tricking with Bilang.com, the website from that Swiss guy, Bilang, the Billy. And,
Bilang.
So
that site started on my birthday.
Really?
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, February 15th, 2000.
Wow, you remembering the date is great, but obviously since it's your birthday.
yeah, it's definitely that connection for sure. But I just thought it was kind of crazy. Then I was like on there all the time, like literally posting on the forums.
I wanted to ask you, so if you don't mind that we start with nowadays, because I'm watching you keeping the flame quite alive with the lives that you do on Twitch and passing the message through. And I mean, you're teaching online classes of your exercises and the conditioning that you do to keep developing those amazing kicks and amazing flexibility and speed. So how has it been for you? And I'm not sure if you started this while COVID erupted, but was it because of that you started doing the online training?
Yes, that's primarily why I started. Because originally I was supposed to be on tour and I'd be like gone for like 2 years. I was supposed to do the Justin Bieber tour with my crewmate and teammate Rudy Raynon. So we were going to be specialty and we were going to be gone for a while. And then during rehearsals, COVID hit, and then we were just quarantine lockdown. And I just kind of set up a little spot to train my girlfriend. She started teaching Zoom because she had a whole bunch of kids that she taught gymnastics to. And then she's like, yo, just go and do a Zoom class. I'm sure everyone would love to just, you know, work out. So it started out as a Zoom class with some stunt players because they weren't working either. And then some of my friends. And I just started teaching and leading these classes. Then one of my other friends, Mick, he was like, said, oh, why don't you try Twitch? So I was like, okay. I'll try Twitch, and then I got into PC stuff and got into doing this whole setup. And then right now, it's just something that I do to like strengthen my teaching, and being consistent on my own training for physical therapy that I need to do anyways. And so a lot of them, most of the people that come on are about half of them are just my friends,
Hmm.
just to
Hmm.
like hang out and like talk and train. And then yeah, it's just something fun keeps me going. If I don't have any work or if I'm like not training on my own, it forces me to do some stuff.
That's amazing because I heard this sentence once, which was it was talking about kids and how kids don't lack the talent. They are diamonds in the rough, but they only like the teachers. And sometimes, you know, we criticize how kids nowadays are not doing this, or youngsters nowadays are not doing that. But you know, if we ourselves begin with a small group and then start progressing and start doing those lives, which are basically for free, because I've watched a couple of them and I was like, oh no, this is actually not one of those in which you go like, okay, so now you have to register and now you have to pay for $100. I mean, obviously that would be
Yeah.
the progression, I guess, and I think obviously everybody should get paid to teach classes, but still,
hmm
you got to give action to get action, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And really, I haven't been teaching as much because I've just been performing and traveling all over the place for so long that it kind of reignited that flame of teaching and then breaking down it, and it helped hone my skill as a teacher as well. From seeing, I have a lot of friends in dance from that want to learn, and then I just started seeing their tendencies and habits and why you see like a lot of dancers or people from different backgrounds they can't throw a side kick properly and or whatever, and they just have the similar shape but they're using the wrong muscles and then they get injured and they're like, oh, my back is wrecked after doing that. I was like, well, it shouldn't be like specifically that. So we just um did a lot of breakdown throughout this whole entire year and a half, I guess, or a little bit longer than a year. And I feel like as a teacher, my eye has been trained a lot more recently than it has like that in the past like 10 years or so.
Don't you feel like
So
so
it's helped me out a lot.
don't you feel so stupid the first time you teach an online class? It's like, are they even listening? Are they even watching me? Am I on the right place? Oh, I'm giving them too much time for rest, right? It's like the first time
A
I
little
talked,
bit, yeah.
yeah, I was like berserk. I don't know if I'm gonna lose them. No, 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 because I said this right now. Maybe I'm gonna watch like 5 or 6 go offline right now just because of this comment, right?
I guess. I think for me, the biggest stress was all the technical side. I was like, I think the first at least the Twitch streams, I was like, first 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I was like, I don't have any audio, just like how we went on right or a little bit earlier right now. I was like, shoot, I gotta change all these settings. All right, we'll be back. And then all the technical difficulties was more of the stress. And then once I got in the groove of doing it, because a lot of the Twitch stuff isn't as detailed because I can't see people. It's a follow along. So I'm like working out and just explaining what I'm doing. So it's not as bad. Um, and I am there to, like, well, if I'm if I'm not feeling like I'm having a workout, then they don't, unless we're working on the concepts or something. So I just have that timer going and hold myself accountable when we do the drills. And then if we're teaching concepts, then it's more about like interacting with whoever it is. And if they don't respond, then I'm just move on.
And it's a great way for us to gather some more knowledge, even about ourselves as coaches, right? Because it's such a huge gold mine of producing content. Sometimes I go and I teach online classes as well here in Portugal, and I have a cool group that some of them are really glued to the classes and are like asking every step of the way what to do,
Oh yeah.
and feeling that attention and feeling that we can really influence other people's lives. I mean, it's like every once in a while I gather a couple of the clips from some of the classes and I do like a video clip of that, and it's like, wow, this is content forever that we're creating that we should never let go of. And you were talking about how it started off with your physical therapy exercises as well. What do you mean? Did you get injured recently?
Well, I've been consistently injured for for years and years and years. I've
Of
had
course.
3 knee surgeries,
Ooh.
both knees, ACL reconstruction,
Oh man.
meniscus. I've had cervical spine surgery from a movie that I worked on.
Really, what
So
happened
I've
there?
well, it was actually not even like a martial arts thing. It was actually, and it was technically an acting slash dancing gig. But like one of the takes, well, not even the takes. It was like a rehearsal in between takes. What that we just like had a sequence that they said, oh, just go at this time, this time, this time, whatever. And we had a cross of a tumble pass, and I went up, and we were back to back, and we collided, and I was the one that fell first.
Was it like a
in
round
that.
off
So
back flip or something? What
yeah,
was the move?
backflip, and then we were facing back. Yeah, round off back. We were gonna do switch flashes, but we
Yeah.
were like back to back, and then we
And you
just went
collided.
when we were told to go. Yeah, and we collided in the air, and I fell and have C4, 5, 5, 6 herniation discs in there, and it was rubbing against my spinal cord if I just went like this and all that. It was pretty crazy because obviously I've never had a neck injury before that severe. So it was freaking me out that I was having, symptoms of shooting pains down my arms. Like my whole body went limp when it actually happened, and I was dazed. But having that was the first real traumatic injury I've had, because of the knees. I just bounced back. I just did the physical therapy and all of that. But that one was pretty serious. I was out for about like almost 2 years from actually performing. I
Holy
was
crap.
doing physical therapy and training and doing skills, but actually performing, it was a good like almost 2 years, I think, out of
Oh
that. So I was like
man.
gone for a little bit. And
I'm so
then
sorry to hear that. I did not
what's
know that.
I yeah, I stayed a little bit low on that. My crewmates, they went on tour, like a world tour for LMFAO when they were doing uh Party Rock Anthem and all of that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, of course.
We were their choreographers and dancers for that. So they were all gone. So I was just like chilling throughout the whole entire
Oh
time. So I
man.
just stayed low and just worked on trying to get better, and a lot of mental game stuff. So
No.
went through that, came back, then started performing again.
If it doesn't kill you, it does make you stronger. And one thing is for sure, because I see a lot of this with my students, and I started practicing CrossFit as well a few years ago. Now I'm not so much into the CrossFit, standards of execution and stuff, and I do have a lot of things that I don't agree with the CrossFit HQ, whatever. But I did see in CrossFit that people would start to do more than they were able to, or more than their hardware would permit. Obviously, in your case, that's not the case, even though accidents do happen, especially when you're doing a backflip against another guy. So obviously, when you collide in a backflip, it's like something crazy is going to go down. But don't you feel that you started working out a little better, or maybe that some of the exercise that you do right now, you should have incorporated them like 10 or 15 years ago? Did you feel that way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, PT is life right now. And when I was recovering, I had to retrain myself to, it's like a lot of times when we do tricks, we're just tricking to land. You're trying to
Yeah.
hold on to that and then just like stomp out tricks. That's a thing people say, is just let's stomp some out. I'm like, no, I want to land like toe heel and absorb all that impact. So I changed a lot of my technique to know how to land, and that's kind of a new way of how I learn things now. It's more like, all right, I'll know how to lift off, or break down how I lift off, and then also I break down how to land, and then I just try and bridge those two together, and that's how I learned new tricks, and also teaching tricks on my opposite side too, because it's like I'm not trying to do freaking quads or triples or anything like that anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
Or try and learn that stuff. I'm doing a lot of foundational and technique stuff, and in turn doing that helped my teaching as well too. Just to pass it on, so other people don't do it. When I go to the open gym and people are killing themselves in the corner by themselves, I was like, hey, yo, try this, really try this. I don't want to like impose, but I'll demonstrate so they know I could do the stuff, obviously, if I don't know who they are. But and I'll be like, oh yeah, just try this a few times, and they'll be like, oh cool. I'm like, all right, cool, go, because I don't want people just wrecking themselves, because the knowledge is out there, but sometimes, especially in open gym, that like people don't. It's intimidating when people are going crazy. So, and I know that feeling as well. Coming
That
back, I
is
mean, like these new kids are crazy.
that is such an important message because especially, at our age, we used to say when we were a little younger, we used to say that we would go it all out and we would be tricking or doing our stuff for like 5 hours straight with our friends and you know in a way it was sort of okay because we watched a couple of things. We didn't have YouTube back then. We watched a couple of things that were a little bit more basic. People were starting to do the 540s, the 720s, but it didn't get much bigger than that. Now we see kids doing pull-ups on tops of on top of skyscrapers. So it's like the width or the girth of the possibilities has become so much bigger that I'm kind of scared for these kids who have no respect for the basics. But you do have a martial arts background and not have begun tricking all by itself, because I know people who have started tricking before they start martial arts. So no wonder the wheel kick before the round off flash kick. No wonder the wheel kick looks like crap, and it's like, what's that? That's a wheel kick. That's not a wheel kick. That wouldn't even kick a midget or something. Yeah, it's really you got to have a foundation, right?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of tricking though, it's since the internet and everything, it's grown so much outside the spectrum of its origins in martial arts. Because I have a lot of friends in tricking that came from different backgrounds of movement in general. So acro or like power tumbling or dance or people that came from these different types of movements. So a lot of times the kicking comes after they learn the transitions and everything, because kicking, as you know, it's like it takes a long time to master, to do it like correctly. I was like, I don't even consider myself like mastering kicks. I can do them pretty consistently, but then sometimes I'm like, wait, that didn't feel right, so it's like just they're like just different techniques now in tricking, although the origins are martial arts, which it will always be, and the history is gone kind of uh like not as well known about why we even do acrobatics with kicking. We like all the tricks and flips and twists came because we wanted to make the kicks harder, more difficult,
Yeah,
so
like the
it's like we
challenge,
came
yeah.
from all these tournaments. Yeah, it was like that's how the variations came, and that's what made tricking and tricks. We didn't have that many. I say it like I'm like one of the earliest. I'm like a more second or almost third gen of tricks, but technically, but that's how it came. And it's like my coaches, they would be the first ones to throw a tumble pass in their creative forms, or do a 540 or 720 or a flash kick, not a step out. They
Yeah,
actually try
yeah,
and do a
yeah.
front kick or like have some sort of chamber, like things like that. All these variations came, and that's what made tricking different than just flips.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of younger people don't know that, and they just see the twist first, and then think is, oh, it's just like acrobatic stuff. But when you have that intent, it completely changes your movement as well. It's like you can see the difference between martial arts trickers and swing chainers as well sometimes.
Yeah, I just love the
But sometimes
virtuosity.
it goes full circus. It's
Yeah,
full
yeah.
circle. People
Yeah,
learn it.
yeah, yeah. Since this is also a fitness channel, I always want to know because this knowledge that we get, this experience from also doing a lot of the conditioning exercises and doing a little bit of bodybuilding, a little bit of weightlifting in order to help our tricking or our jumps or jump kicks. Which are some of the exercises that you prefer, either with weights or without weights, that really helped you along the way, not only with physical therapy, but also like jumping higher and really reaching that explosive kicking skill that you have?
Well, there's one that I do all the time at the end of the workouts. I've always called them Russians or Russian split jumps, but it's basically it's a like a plyometric drill where you do like a squat down and then you keep your head level and you kick like mini split kicks as fast as you can when you
Oh, I've seen you do that
where
one. Yeah, yeah. I see you do. You
your
put it on
hands over your
Instagram.
chest up and you kick super fast there, and it kind of just it helps with that quickness of extension and rechambering, like a quick split kick, and then also it works that VMO muscle because you're in that squat and kicking out, which is super important for your knees, and a little bit of your glutes because you're just squatting down in there. But that's always been a staple of my training, and I seem to do that primarily. Also, just regular physical therapy things uh, like wall sits and wall slides. You know,
So
anything that kind of works the ACL stuff.
you don't do any kind of heavy squatting or Bulgarian split squats with weights. Do you
I'll
use
do
weights at all?
Bulgarians. Yeah, I'll use dumbbells and do Bulgarian split squats, and I have like a whole little flow that I do. I mostly use dumbbells though, so I haven't been to the gym doing like a whole bunch of deadlifts and
Hmm.
all of that. I have done there, but I don't end up going to the gym specifically for those things as much.
Do you have
Unless I'm
do you have a split like a split routine for the week? I mean, how many times do you do conditioning a week, and what muscles do you train on each given day?
yeah. So it's constantly changed. Honestly, this year I've neglected my upper body so much when I used to do it all the time. So that I'm not right now I'm slowly getting back into doing like uppers again. But yeah, I think since my knees have been so battered and bruised throughout the years, I'm mostly focused on that like at least a few times a week, just going through all that, and then I end up going kicking and um doing punching. I haven't done as much upper body cross training besides like punching and you know, push-ups, and I just have it's really almost lame, guys, but
What?
I've got pull-up bars and like little bands, and every time I walk past, I'll do a set. So
Really?
that's how it's like,
So
yeah,
during
yeah.
the
So
day?
like over here during the day, I've got like bands, and then I'll just sit back and then do like pull down sets when I pass, or like the pull-up bar, I'll do like 5 pull-ups in, 5 pull-ups out, and that's how I would just like stay consistent with it, which was actually pretty good, like strength wise.
Yeah.
But but you know, it's like you it's you know, I haven't had any focused training recently. I kind of go in fads or spurts of different
I
things
like
when I
that's
train
very
with
artistic, and
other
that's a little
people.
bit old school because by the end of the day,
Yeah.
you're gonna get like 50 pull-ups, so it's more than enough of training volume for the lats and for the biceps, and that's great, man. Because I'm from the era where people used to do like every day I do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 blah blah blah, and it's like you find out that science tells you that it's not the best or it's not the optimal, but who cares? I mean, it's intuitive. People do it because they need to feel disciplined. They need to recharge their batteries, their emotional way of looking at training. And I see a lot of guys doing that. And it's like, who cares? It gets them going because that's not even the training aspect. That's not even the workout part. That's what they have to do to get up. And then they do their whole day and the other segments.
Before I even go over to practice, I do about 3,500 sit-ups, anywhere between 750 to 1,500 push-ups. So that's my workout I do every day, and you know, it's been working for me. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm up there in age.
So how did this all begin for you? I mean, if I go on your IMDb page, it says that the first experience you had with martial arts was not good, but then you came back later. Can you tell me about it? Were you
Yeah.
like 5 years old or something?
Yeah, pretty much. I was a super shy kid. I didn't even speak really till I was 3. I mean, I could speak and I could understand things. I just was quiet, you know. So when we went to a rec center, it was like one of those rec center karate program things. We
Yeah.
were sitting down. I remember I remember being there, I think, and then seeing video of this. But you know how you have a student creed at the end, and then all these there's must have been like 20 kids or something yelling and blah blah blah, like, and I will be disciplined and all this yelling, and I'm just like this. The freak is going on? And then after that, I didn't want to go just because of all the yelling. Everyone's like yelling and punching. I'm like doing front rolls and everything. So I didn't come back till I was 8. And that was also just because of like those inspirations of Ninja Turtles and Karate Kid and all that. I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. So my mom brought me to a school that was right next to the supermarket, which was like easy for her. She wanted to like go there and like chill. And it turned out to actually be a really good school. So I had great instructors. I'm just super thankful that I didn't get one of those weird mall strip studios and actually had a legit
McDojos.
Yeah, basically a McDojo place. And I was like, okay, cool. And through that, it was like, yeah, it kind of just snowballed. I was there all the time, just training. I loved it.
Was it karate like Shotokan?
It was Tong Sudo.
Oh, Tong Sudo.
Chuck Norris. So yeah, I'm like my instructor trained in the like Chuck Norris group of people, but broke off and started in his own his own schools.
Wow.
But he was like a fighter, mostly won like those Long Beach internationals, like the Bruce Lee tournament international stuff. So he was more of a USA team fighter during that.
Wow.
But I got in the forms. So
how badass was that first Ninja Turtles movie? The two first Ninja Turtles movies were awesome.
Oh yeah, with Kino.
Wow, man. Yeah.
Delivering Ernie
pizza,
Reyes
right?
Jr., man. Dude, yeah, he's a beast.
Oh,
yeah, that's a whole nother story training with him, man.
Did you train with him already?
Yeah. Oh, not. I've trained with him. Like basically, when I started doing tournaments, I was training with Arnold Chon, which I
love the guy.
And then he was like one of my Arnold was my third forms coach for about a year. That taught me mostly like all the hand combinations stuff, and then he was hanging out with Ernie Reyes Jr.
Oh, wow.
And we would train, and that's when Ernie was probably around our age, like mid-30s, around there, or like something like that. But he was just ripped, like insanely ripped, like from doing
surf ninjas
type boxing.
Oh
no, he was like professionally fighting a little bit like right before this, so he was ripped. He was like, "Yo, Steve, if I can get you down to like 120," I was like, 120? It's like 10 pounds lighter than what I was at that time, and I was like 16. And then we would all be training so hard until everyone, like all like me, Arnold, and our other friend Gio Corvera, stunt guy, we would all be pretty much throwing up, and then Ernie would have put on those plyometric shoes, like the duck shoes where it doesn't have the heels, and then doing like jump rope intervals while we're dying outside of it. And that was probably one of the times when I was in shape the most, because we were just training like every day and just doing forms nonstop, and then doing all types of different training. But he was just insane. I don't know how he had that. So
man, you're getting me so pumped
Ernie
up,
Reyes
man.
Jr. is a beast.
So how was a typical day? How many times did you train a day? And
I would train at least like two sessions, but one would just be like working on tricks. But if we were in tournament mode, it would basically be if Arnold was training us, it would be me and maybe one other person, and we would just run our forms like nonstop back and forth. So sections, like first section would be up to the first move, then it'd be like there. So it's basically wind sprinting your forms over and over again, and then doing the full forms at the end. Which sometimes your technique goes to crap, but but we would get our wind up. And back in the day, I don't know if they still do this, but if you tied in division for your forms, you would have to do another form again.
Oh yeah.
So and sometimes even again. So he would say, "All right, you just tied. You're going again." After we were already dead, and be like, "Oh fuck." We have to go again, and be like, "You just tied again," and then we do that. But it made it so easy, because whenever we would tie, or whenever I would tie, it would just be automatic. I'll be like, oh, hey, I'll change this trick. I'll change this trick. And I'd be like not winded at all, you know? So it was amazing training, but yeah, like half the time we would be throwing up because
Wow.
we wouldn't be able to breathe.
Wow,
I was
man.
like 16, 17 back then. So it would be like, okay, all right, let's just do it.
At what age did you start competing?
I started competing nationally when I was 16.
16.
But before that, it's like I didn't get to do the national circuit because most of them were on the East Coast and I lived on the West Coast.
Yeah.
So I would have to fly out there. But there were a few tournaments like in Las Vegas. I'm from Los Angeles. So Las Vegas where juniors would win prize money. So I would train to do those tournaments so I could earn money to fly out, and I would stay with my friends that competed nationally, like Raymond Daniels and Manny Bujold. Like Raymond Daniels fighter, and Manny Bujold. We're all from the same area, so they would be my guardians because I was underage, and then they would let me stay with them because we were just kind of like this little crew. But I would make all my money winning these smaller tournaments, working my way up, you know, as a
Wow, man.
relatively unknown. And then I took a chance and I was like, all right, I'm going to do at least like 4 tournaments. And then at that time, Raymond was on Paul Mitchell, and he was telling them, hey, look at this kid. You know, it's like, and see if we have a spot open or whatever. So like during that time, I was out of the 3 out of the 4 tournaments of the national circuit. I won grand champion in 3 of them. So they're like, okay, cool. I was lucky because before that I was getting like thirds and fourths at those, but I think at that point I was finally getting to that level
Finally refining. Yeah.
of
Yeah.
refining, just working hard and getting more experience, because you know it's like before that I was not traveling as much for bigger tournaments. At least I was just a local kid.
Yeah. I remember some of the biggest names like David Douglas, Anthony
Oh
DeMarco,
yeah,
and I'm not sure if John Valera,
yeah. I
but they were
trained with
from T.
David was one of my coaches.
But there was another team that they were from before they went on to be
Team
from Paul
Eagle.
Mitchell. Team Eagle. Team Eagle. Yeah. Yeah.
Team Eagle was Kim Do and David
Kim
Douglas. Yeah,
Do.
that's when during the time when I was training with David Douglas, because David came down to move to Hollywood to be an actor, which he still does today. You'll see him in a whole bunch of commercials now. I spot him
Wow.
all the time. But
Does he
he came
still
down
have that
to
Rasta haircut?
no, he's
No.
playing dad parts now. He's a daddy
Oh
in all these
man.
commercials with little kids.
No. No.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah. So sad. Yeah. But
They're
David used to
screwing my
train.
childhood, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was his signature. It's like he used to train Danny Graham also. I don't know if you
Oh,
know
I
who Danny
love
Graham
that
is.
guy, man. He's such a
So
great
it was
technique.
like it was me, this other guy Jamil that was local, and Danny Graham, and we would train under David Douglas like out here. So like Danny would fly down from Florida. He was 11. He was like yay tall to me, as you know. He's freaking huge. He's like a
Yeah.
double for Black Panther and stuff. So, but
Yeah.
he's a big dude now. But back then he was a little kid. He had longer dreads than David Douglas during
Wow.
that time. He was like we would call it like mini D, but now he's like way bigger than David ever was. But yeah, we would train with David. That's where I got a lot of my combination concepts from training with David
Yeah.
for about that year or so.
Yeah, I
But
had a tape
yeah, I'm
from.
so lucky that I got so many good coaches, you know.
Yeah, I learned because those tapes from Black and Blue with instruction. I have the one from David called "Applied Power in Kicking," and I had a couple
Oh
more
yeah.
from Anthony Atkins and stuff. That's where I first learned how
Yeah.
to do with actual technique, because obviously I was practicing kung fu locally, and nobody was going to teach me the cheat 720, right? Nobody's
Oh
gonna was
yeah.
going to teach me. I mean, the 540 you do have in wushu, but you don't have. You don't have the cheat 720 or the 540 hook kick. And I was like, wow,
Oh
this is
yeah.
so great. So I was like learning by myself in my living room watching you guys. It's such an amazing experience, and knowing that you worked out with all of those guys, It's great, man. It's for you. You're
Yeah,
part of
yeah.
history. Yeah.
Dude, it's just so fortunate to have those people. And really, it's like I feel like I didn't remember too much of their teachings. It was just more of being around that and
Hmm.
then them doing the drills, you know? So just I think it's like today, you know, it's like people see things and they're exposed to so much more um, than I was when I was like even younger. And the only access I had was if I straight up went to train with these people, and for that hour, I'd get to see people do this stuff. I mean, and then workshop it on myself. So yeah, it's definitely training. It shows in how fast everything's progressed in the past like what 15 years or so.
Yeah. So, so, that, that,
Now I'm gonna ask my producer to put a few of the videos that I asked you to tell me which ones you were most proud of, or that were online that you might not have seen for quite a few a bit of time. We're gonna start with the martial arts. I know it's yeah, it looked like we're gonna start. So this is pretty old. This is from what, 97 or something?
No, I think this is wait, this might be 2002, but it's a really bad video. I couldn't find the original, but
Where
I
was
think
this?
maybe it was 2001. This was in France, Paris, France, for the French Open. These are the first. I think this might have been the second one where they brought Americans over to do extreme and musical forms. So before this, Europe didn't really have any tricking. Basically, these are the first introductions to tricks and musical forms with all the acrobatics. So that's why everyone's going crazy, is because they have probably only seen a few clips of this stuff, you know, just like most of us, because we didn't have that much internet. And this is probably my first viral-ish video, I think, back in the day. It was labeled a whole bunch of different things. This one's labeled cousin of Bruce Lee.
Cousin of Bruce Lee.
And then I know on later on it was like Taekwondo master, and I don't even do Taekwondo, but it was passed around all over the place.
Man, it's amazing to see your first. Those were probably your first combos, right?
Yeah. Those were my first adult when I went into adult longer combos. So
I could see
I got into that.
Yeah, so I could see the 540 going to the splits. I could see the side swipe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, side swipe during
for those who don't know, it's like 540. It's like when you slant your body a little bit, right? You put your head upside down and you finish the 540, right?
Like an inverted 540s with that where you go through it. Yeah. Side swipe's a funny one because just Kim Do coined that phrase, and then it kind of like evolved because like original side swipe used to be an aerial switch with a bent leg, so it's more of a swing through one, and then I started doing more the 540 step in, and that's kind of like how I tried to learn Kim's move, was running into it. But then since I didn't know how to do an aerial switch, I stepped into it like a 540, running and step into a 540, and it kind of developed into like that technique.
Yeah. And that's pretty much how everything progressed in the tricking world, right? You were hanging out with friends, trying to do their moves or trying to best each other up, and then one of you guys actually creates something with gets lost midair, falls, but it's like, wow, I was really going on for something, right?
Yeah, half of it. I think I've said this before. In my process, when people ask me this, is at the start I was just trying to do something, and then exactly how you said it was something. I just felt something. I was like, wait, I think I can do an extra turn out of that. And then that's how those variations came. Or my hips were in a certain position and I could throw a different extra kick, because my challenge to myself was always, whenever I did something, I would do a kick. So that was my baseline to do tricking. And then it's kind of what all the stuff that I developed came from that basis and mistakes.
Yeah, you gotta make a lot of mistakes. I'm gonna ask my producer to put the second video. Oh, this is belang.com.
Oh yeah.
Charlie Lee, 2006.
Oh yeah.
Friday evening, extreme. Oh, so they called it extreme forms,
Yeah.
not musical forms.
Yeah, this is right when they started calling that division extreme forms instead of American. American used to be the open forms, basically what extreme is
Like
now, because
freestyle, yeah.
yeah, freestyle, because they started doing creative forms, which were making up your form but without any tricks, because
Holy
people
shit.
were getting crazy with the kicks and tricks and spins. So this was one of my favorite
Oh, wow.
divisions, just because you can change it up anytime. I kind of stuck with the music and musical forms, and no
Oh,
variations, but I got to do whatever I really wanted.
dude, what is this?
I
Like
yeah
Flash.
yeah quad flashes in there. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, honestly, I haven't watched that specific form until you asked for some clips, and I was like, wow, I forgot about this form. I really like it.
Yeah,
It
man,
was
it's
very like action packed and like different things that I don't usually do in my forms. So
yeah, everything is crisp.
yeah,
Everything is crisp, and I know that sometimes you get like 10 specific moves, 10 specific tricks, and one of them might not be so good because it's a lot of competitions, and you don't get 100 out of 100 every time. But this one actually looked one of the best ones for me, and even the basics, even the punching technique is very good. So I guess you were probably working out with Arnold Chon already in this phase.
no, at that point, I was trained by myself. So
Mm,
pretty much once I went adult, like in 2002, like where that old video from French Open, I
yeah.
was training. Um, I didn't have a coach at that point, but I would have good training partners. So I would be kind of leading those same types of killer
Yeah.
workouts. But I'd have uh, my friend Danny Ellman and Jackson Spidell. I don't know if basically John Wick's stunt double now.
Oh man.
That he's super famous. One of the most athletic people I've ever met. I was better at him than in forms, but he was every other sport he was like killing me. So he really pushed me a lot because he was so athletic. So we would go back and forth, same thing, like go till we almost throw up, and then yeah. So I had really good training partners at during those times, just to push myself, because it's like when you're by yourself, you can kind of, it's harder to get self motivated, but you have someone there to like rival, and especially someone like at Jackson Spidell's level of athleticism and strength. It definitely
Wow.
helped me during those times as well.
I think the key is probably to be, a merry guy like you with an open mind. I mean, you sound such a cool guy to be around that people were, sometimes you might have the talent, but if you have a little bit of arrogance or a little bit of that attitude, and I noticed that in the stunt world as well, since I'm a stuntman, and we don't want to work with, 10 times world champions who are dicks. We want to work with guys who
Exactly.
are
Yeah.
not, are willing to be a white belt in some of the things, or sometimes willing to go and grab a mat and just be with their ears open and not being such a like we've had guys come up to us and go like, I'm a master of several martial arts, several, like Aikido, Thai boxing, karate, several. I had one guy say that to me, and I was like, several? You don't even remember how many martial arts you're a master of? Oh my God, you're like the reincarnation of Bodhidharma himself. My goodness, we have
Yeah.
such creeps in the martial arts world as
Yeah,
well. We got to admit.
martial arts people are weirdos,
Oh
honestly.
man,
Being
yeah.
around the circuit and being around it, it's like you get those people that are totally not self-aware at all. But I mean, at least for me, how you were saying, it's like I like all my great teachers. My Hiro Koda is the one that kind of got me into that mindset. So he was one of my first coaches, and he said, don't, it's like, don't take yourself too seriously. It's like when we would train, we would have fun. If you mess up, like you can laugh at yourself. I mean, like, oh man, it's like, so there was never that pressure. Even when I was competing, I didn't feel like I had pressure. I had adrenaline and like nerves for performance, but I never felt the pressure as like, oh, it's the end of the world if I crash or something like that. So um, I think that definitely carried on throughout my whole entire competition career and live performance. And Hiro, he's successful in his own right. I don't know if you know who that
Yeah, yeah, of course,
Hiro
of course. Now
is.
that you said his name, I was
Dude,
like, oh yeah, of
yeah,
course, yeah.
yeah, he was an amazing competitor. I met him, and then yeah, it's like when I look back, yeah, I had amazing coaches. So I'm super fortunate to just be around that, and he introduced me to do stunt doubling and stunts and all that as well. So you know, it's like he's forever like my hero, my big brother, mentor.
So Hiro is
and
your hero.
everything. Definitely. I'm his
Stupid
humble
joke.
little grasshopper. Hero. That's I say it all the time. He's my hero, man.
Hiro is my hero.
Hero's my hero.
Mm. And it's funny how in these days, specifically, the movie producers and the movies were fetching a lot of people from the forums, and even way earlier, like from the 80s, like Keith Cook and Cynthia Rothrock, and people like them were being fetched from the forums, because I believe that sometimes an actual fighter does not translate as well, even though we got great examples, obviously, but an actual fighter in the ring does not translate as well into the stunt world and fight choreography world as a forms competitor. Do you get that prejudice of, did you get that prejudice of, oh, you're a forms guy, oh, what's that what's that quadruple kicking flash kick gonna get you in real life? And it's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, this is not effective in real life. No way. That's such news to me. Did you get that at all from time to time?
All the time. Like whenever clips came up, they would just say it's gymnastics. I was like, well, it's not. I mean, they like no gymnastics person does do these kicks or like these variations. But yeah, if you really look at a lot of the top movement like fight people, they're from tricking or forms competitions. Like there's like John Valera, he's a legendary forms competitor. He's you know, it's like we have Danny Graham, you know, we have Anish Schwerfa. Yeah, Jeremy Marina. It's like a lot of them came from like these more of the movement side than actual fighting side, and the creativity that comes with being able to make your own moves and combinations translates into that open mindset of like, well, this movement can actually go into this, and it may not be practical, but visually it makes sense. You know, it's like, that's why, you know, if you have people on wires and you're flipping around, then yeah, obviously there's no real fight potential from a ring standpoint, you know. So so you have to have that open creative mind.
It never means, watching you do this, it never means that you can spar, and that's what really bothers me about these people. It's like, do you think these guys can spar as well? I mean, they're probably not George St. Pierre, but nobody is. I mean, but they can spar. I mean, they got a martial arts background. I mean, be careful with some of those basic kicks that they can do, like in a flash or with a lot of virtuosity, because they're gonna get you. And if it's not a kick, it might be a punch. You know, that's what really bothers me when people look at it. It's like, oh, that's all flash. Yeah, whatever.
Well, you know, the internet trolls, keyboard warriors, you know. That's it. That's what you kind of go with.
I'm gonna pull up.
I'll get in some arguments. Not sometimes if I'm feeling feisty, just for fun.
Do you get mad? Do you get mad at people who say stuff?
Not mad. It's more like I'll just ask them questions, and then they kind of like either stop talking or they stop responding to the questions.
And
but I think, it's like I try and explain just it's choreography. If you like Marvel movies, then you won't like what I'm doing or other people are doing if they're doing corkscrews in the air. So then you don't like Captain America doing those things either. He should just stand in one place and throw a shield. Right.
Oh, but that's different. So, that's not real life. That's a fictional character. Okay, whatever. Keyboard warriors. Just this thing you were talking about, being nervous and about having the pressure to go on stage, and it's this, even though this will air a little bit later, obviously, today or yesterday, Simone Biles from the gymnastics teams, she didn't go or is not going. I'm not sure if they already competed, but she said she won't go to the teams events of the gymnastics U.S. team because she is having a lot of probably anxiety of going up there, and it's amazing how many people are shitting on her just because she took a stand and she talked about something which is really real, especially after COVID, after this year and a half of being, of regressing. And people don't have a notion of what it is to be on the top and on the world's eye view of pressure, and especially being the best. Because I mean, what do you think of all that? Does it resonate with you when you start looking at those stories?
Yeah, I definitely get where she's like coming from. Just especially the Olympics, because it's like that comes every 4 years, and some people only go like one time. And especially this one, I feel like the the Olympics were putting so much pressure specifically on Simone Biles. If you listen to anything, it's like, oh, she'll be fine. She's doing great. Oh, that was out of character, but she'll do amazing on the next one. It's like they put so much pressure on her. And I think just in general, gymnastics, the way that they're trained to think and feel is so like pressure bound. It's like, if you listen to the coaches, they're always, nope, do it again. Nope. All right, move on. It's like there's no like that from what I was saying, even like from Keto, it's like, don't take yourself too seriously. Do your best, because that mental side is half of it. I think a lot of people should have some sort of concept of that sports psychology side to it. And especially for me, I've felt it, even though I didn't have any competition, but for myself, from the injuries, I had to do a lot of like mental gymnastics and figuring out and having people like come up and say, it's like, oh, I watched you, and then watched you for like years and years and years, and we're out in a session. I'm like, dude, I can't do any of that stuff right now because I'm just recovering, you know, and you feel like you're letting people down if you're not at your 100. When you're put on a pedestal in that sense. So, yeah, I mean, it takes a lot to admit that. I can't imagine the pressure that she's under to even do that, or to even bring that up.
Yeah,
to
people don't realize that kills a person inside. Nobody should be, sometimes you love your art, you have your passion, you love your sport, but being that popular is like a side effect that you did not want in the first place, or maybe you wanted a little bit, but not as much. She can't go anywhere without being recognized. Just like I don't know, Michael Phelps, just like Cristiano Ronaldo from my country, obviously Portugal, and it's really tough to get by with that. I mean, everybody should have some sort of psychotherapy going on. And if you don't mind, we can go back to that to that a little bit later on in the conversation, because I really want to know which types of techniques did you use with yourself to get a little bit more mentally charged to deal, for example, with the injuries. I just want to pull up the last martial arts video that you sent me from the forums. So this is Compete Nationals 2004. So it's a couple of years prior to the. Oh, there's Arnold Chon.
As you can see, there's Arnold, and then the guy in the red next to him, that's Jackson Spadell. That's when we were training together. Yeah. So John Wick's double, amazing stunt person, everything. There's Daniel Sterling, Will Valentine right there.
Oh yeah, Daniel.
Yeah, this is when like daytime competitions were like pre-packed, even for like these. This is a West Coast tournament, but this one specifically, I didn't even win this one. So, but it's one of my favorite.
What's that move called?
Forms.
What's that move called?
What did I even call it? Hurricane something. I don't know. Honestly, I don't even remember, because it was one of those things when a lot of these moves, like the hand plant hook kick and that movement and doing the cartwheel into carry through were stuff that I haven't done before in forms or had them out. So when I did that spinning hurricane thing,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
really it didn't catch on. So I was just like, all right, I'm not gonna do it anymore. It's like people didn't like it. Move on. Let's do a different version.
Oh, because you go by the feedback of the people, right? You go by the feedback, like
yeah.
yeah.
It's like sometimes that whole season in 2004, I went full out with variations and tricks. And what I realized at the end, because that was my worst season placement ever, I was getting like thirds and fourths in the seeding. Sometimes I'd win the division, but overall, like basically your average point score was really low. And that's the one plaque that showed at the awards that I kept and had up because it was like my motivation for the following year. And I just decided to be like, okay, I can have all this stuff for myself for like tricks and have that separate. But in this game, when you have 5 judges that are old school and don't know what they're looking at for pushing the envelope of tricks and trick kicking, I gotta spoon feed it a lot more for like general public, because the following season I went more choreography to the music. I used more basic kicks and just tried to be as sharp as possible. Hints of variation, but ones that you know, are easy to read. And that whole entire season, I was winning both, like all the open divisions, and won the whole entire year. Wow. So against like really good competitors that I was losing to the previous. So yeah, that was like just another development. But I like those ones because I was trying to find myself. And if you look back now, they're not that crazy tricks, but for that time, like people weren't doing those types of combinations of misdirection with rolls and coming out of it, and like hand plant movements and weird variations.
Yeah, the roll with the backflip with the full twist, the roll with the backflip with the full twist in the kick. What do you call it?
Yeah.
What do you call the?
Well, now it's full twist round, but when I was trying to be funny, I was saying because I would always land into the crouch, so it was like crouching tiger spinning Terada just on the forums. I mean, it didn't stick, obviously. I was just like, half the time I was just doing troll names because it was on the message board. It's like, hey, I came in with a new trick, check it.
It's funny.
But yeah, now it's just full twist round kick. Yeah. And the one that's named after me, Terada grab, I didn't even name it that. So
which one is that? Terada what?
Terada grab is when you do like a half twist, and you grab your calf, and then you let go of it, and then you do a hook kick after.
Oh,
so you know, a lot of Koreans do it. Basically, a lot of the Koreans do like a lot of the stuff that like the style of kick tricking that came over there, because I was like went over there and did a whole bunch of stuff and trained with all of them for a bit. So it's like they love that freaking kick, and they evolved that way more, breaking boards and stuff. I've never broken a board with it, but that ish is like crazy that what they're doing over there.
What's the name of that move that you're credited with? Is pop side swipe? No, not pop.
Snapu swipe.
Snapu swipe. Yeah.
So doing basically a inverted 540 or side swipe and twist out.
Oh, and twist. Oh,
landing.
Goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of those. Wow. I felt that I messed up, but I made a new trick. So I was trying to do swipe knife, which is like a jackknife, but in swipe form. So
yeah,
double kick, inverted 540 with a hook kick at the end. So I did that, and it recoiled really, really
fast,
and then it made me twist a little bit. Exactly, yeah, like, because I was training with Arnold at that time, and he would, after every single move that I did, it's like, do a hook kick out of it. So I was like, okay, cool, do that, and then I called it Snapu swipe. It's because Arnold used to call rechambering or recoiling your kicks Snapu, like he would have a character saying that. Like he would be like a master Sing-chi, blah, blah, blah. So it's like you have to use the snapu technique. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'll just call it snapu swipe since that's how I developed it. And now it's like a foundational name. That's exactly what he would do. He was a character, man.
Yeah, he looks
he's funny, man.
He looks like he's a funny guy. So how did the dance start?
Well, I mean, I was always kind of interested in breakdancing just because of the movement and everything, but I did it more as a social thing because I was traveling all over the place after high school, and all my friends were out of state, and we just go on IM, and when I was home, I wouldn't really see anybody, you know?
Mhm.
And then one time I got introduced to it. My sister was on a dance company. She was in college and they were driving past, and then they said, "Oh, we got like a 8 count solo section. Do you want to come in and do some like tricks or something?" Because they were driving past my place. So I was like, okay, cool. So I did that, got introduced to them, liked it a lot. And yeah, since I didn't have a social life because my girlfriend broke up with me, and I was like, oh dang, there's a lot of girls in dance. Might as well just go train with them. So started doing that, and then met some people that had little dance companies and crews, and yeah, just kind of started learning about it, incorporated tricking with those things. I was always like more like a highlight, obviously, with the acro, but I was also learning choreography a little bit here and there through it. And then yeah, it was just more like a social thing. Like at least for Quest, we were all just mostly friends, and the only reason why we started doing more professional shows is because of reality dance shows started popping up, like So You Think You Can Dance and America's Best Dance Crew out here. And since we competed in those and won like a couple America's Best Dance Crew things, that's when it kind of snowballed for my career in like dance, mostly dance crew, because I still was doing stunts individually, but as a group, I was performing and traveling all over the place and doing shows with Quest crew.
Wow! And
It's
who
kinda-
got you in?
kinda
Who got
crazy.
you in the stunt business? Was it Arnold?
I mean, at LA Valley College, where a lot of my training was, there were stunt people around there, all over the place. But I got referred to get my SAG card, which is like the Union for Screen Actors, because of Memoirs of a Geisha. They were looking for a specific Japanese person, and I got trained to do like a little bike stunt to go crash. So I ended up doing that, and then my next door neighbor is actually a stunt person as well. So I was always around stunt people a little bit, you know, and then the martial arts people at LA Valley had a lot of stunt people as well, and they were always asked, when are you turning 18? And then after I turned 18, when are you going to be SAG? So I had a really good like stepping stone to start out and do that type of stuff. And a lot of it came from Hiro Koda. You know, he was starting to coordinate things, and he introduced me to some fight choreography. I did his small before he started stunt coordinating. He would do smaller independent projects, and then he put me into his thing, so I got introduced to it somewhat at a young age.
I
So
remember
I felt like I was ready.
You posted your appearance on the Beverly Hills Ninja with Chris Farley.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh
That's
yeah,
great,
that's where I met Hiro. Hiro was
okay.
just moved from Alabama, and then he wasn't even a stunt person, but he got to do some stuff later on. So he was pretty green at that point. But that's when I started met him, found out that he did open forms. Then he started coaching me and training me and choreographing some of my stuff, and while he was pursuing that. And then a little bit later on, then he started doing Power Rangers doubling. So yeah, then he's freaking a stunt coordinator for Cobra Kai and Stranger Things and all these crazy things. So
dude, you're like the Forrest Gump of martial arts. You kept going to all the places just because you went there. You went there, you opened your mind, you were like pop, pop, pop. Things just kept happening, man. That's so great.
Yeah, great. I think just being around people and putting it out there, you know, it's like just be a good person. Then people want to work with you. Ask them questions. For sure. You know,
100%.
So I feel super fortunate to be in the right places at the right time.
Yeah.
And meet all these amazing, talented people and be along for their journey, part of their journey.
We're gonna watch a couple of your videos from the dance crew because this is really amazing. Okay. So I'm gonna ask my producer to pull up the first one. So run us by and tell us what this is exactly, because I don't have the titles right here. Hit the floor.
So this is Hit the Floor in Canada, the east side, French Canada. But this specific routine for this year was one of the first shows that we made after I got hurt. So when I was out, I'm gonna be in the middle doing. I'll pop up doing like tricks and everything. But for a few years when I was injured, I wasn't performing at all. So this is like the first years of performing on like bigger stages and having like these bigger 5-minute performances, high energy. And this is like Quest's signature style of how we do shows. So like the formatting and music, because we pretty much like produce all that stuff or mix all that stuff together and choreograph it all. We take like a month going every day and create this stuff. So, and workshop all these group stunts and ideas and moments.
Oh wow, man!
Ryan in the front.
the human eel.
Yeah, he does like really funny ass movements, but it's my boy Fang.
But you're not the only trickster in there, am I right?
No, not necessarily. I'm the so on the very left, that's doing the body rolls. That's Rudy Raynon.
Oh, okay.
He was on Team Paul Mitchell with me. It's like my little bro. We did synchronized forms together. He joined up on the crew when I got injured. So he did the world tour in place of me because we needed like a trick guy. So he joined up, and dude, it's so dope that we could be doing shows all this time, because I've known Rudy since he was like 8. So really dope that he was able to perform with us for so many years.
Oh wow.
And then we have all different, we're basically just like chess pieces. Yeah. People do different types of movement. We have choreo guys, we have b-boys, we have weird movement people like Hawk and Ryan, and then you have their trickers. But you know, it's like these choreographies are such like a group effort. Everyone comes up with different parts, and then we kind of stick it together. We have Ryan mix all the music.
Oh crap, man!
So that's like a straight up stunt fall.
Oh man, that was amazing.
Every single day.
Is that the guy from? Is that the guy from the LMFAO's video clip? Because the guy does that exactly. Is that the same guy?
Yeah, that's that same guy. Yeah, like about 3/4 of the people in this were in that music video.
Oh, okay. So, okay. So it was choreographed, or the dancers for the video clip were you guys?
Yeah, basically we were basically their choreographers and dancers for all their tours and music videos. So.
Oh, this is you.
Yeah.
Pow. Oh yeah, from the not crouching. What do you call it? From the crossed legs position. Yeah.
Yeah, and here's Rue doing some kamas. We get to do some martial arts stuff.
Nice. Wow, double. Oof. Nice transition, man. Oh, man.
This was always the hardest, because this is 3 minutes in and we're dying right here.
Oh, holy crap.
That was our little vignette martial arts stuff. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite shows that we have ever done.
Man, this is so complete. Oh, because this is a so this is a competition, right? This is a dance competition.
No, this was we were the headlining exhibition, but Hit the Floor is a dance competition that all of Canada kind of fly in to do. So all ages, big thing, and then we close out the show.
Oof. Yeah, pretty much all you guys are acrobats. Does anybody on that team?
We're good at like highlighting.
Does anybody on that team does not do a backflip?
Oh, dude, I think it's only like 2 or 3 of us that do a backflip. Everyone else, yeah, it's literally their specialties. We highlight. We all work on individual skills, so we like to highlight those things that people are working on, and then frame it or do group stunts that we do together.
Oh man.
Yeah, f that. I ain't ever doing that one.
Yeah, no. Holy crap.
Yeah, Ryan's nuts.
Ooh. So this is post injury.
Yep, this is post injury.
Comes to show anything is possible. You just got to work hard for it, man. Kudos. Oh.
And then my ankle broke. No, I'm okay, guys. I'm okay.
It's funny. It took me a while to realize because I was like, "What?" His ankle broke. Oh, he's foot. And then I was like, "Oh, his sneakers out."
Yeah.
That's because because you just kept it going. Holy crap! The crowd is excited, man.
Yeah, it's super. Yeah, performing at that venue is super fun.
Let's watch the other one because it's probably a minute and something.
Yeah, these ones are a little bit shorter. So when we did America's Best Dance Crew, the second time, these are some of the Emmy Award winning routines that we put together. So we submitted these to the Emmys, and there's Rue jumping over. Hell yeah. So we submitted these, and we actually won an Emmy for dance choreography.
Wow, congrats. What other gigs did you do or video clips that people might know of?
For dance,
LMFAO? Yeah, LMFAO.
Oh, LMFAO. I mean, we've done a lot more live performance. So we've done NBA All-Star games with Usher.
Wow.
What have we done? We worked a lot with like Fires Movement back in the day because we were kind of the same era. We were all local. So
did I hear something about Britney Spears, or am I right? Am I wrong?
No, we never worked with Britney.
Oh.
I'm trying to think. Dang, it's been so long. Honestly, since we worked with different artists. Oh,
it's okay. Like nowadays, each star is like good enough for 5 years, and then it's there are no more Michael Jacksons who stand the test of time. Well,
Rudy did the Justin Bieber like Purpose tour, and then for the Changes tour, he brought me on to be his mirror bookend. But that was happening right when the pandemic hit, so we were in rehearsals for about a month, and then that hit, and there's no tours right now. So hopefully that comes back up after we get through this big thing, and then we can.
Are you guys in California still in confinement? How's the
it's open, but it's rising, so they're starting to put more restrictions. We're not like shut down or anything, but like indoor masks, things like that, and you already know it's like, don't want to get into like any political stuff or whatever. Not everyone's abiding by it, so. Or like believing in, or I don't know. All I know is that cases are rising, and I've had friends that have gotten it in that I know directly a lot more So it's just kind of scary. So hopefully we can get through this and eventually. And
Before we leave, we just wanted to. I still haven't forgot about the questions for the mind, but I'll leave that for the end. But I would ask you. I would like to ask you or do a small quiz that I usually do with quick fire questions, very easy and simple questions. Just to know a little bit more about yourself. Like, for example, let's start with the first one. What's your favorite food?
Oh, dang. I'm going to have to say pizza.
Pineapple on the pizza, yes or no?
No.
No way.
That's the GF.
Okay. Favorite music or bands? I'm curious about this one.
I like, man, I'm partial to Yellow Card. And Ru Are You. Got to support your boy. Rudy Raynon. I listen to him the most.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Check him out. Rudy. He's really dope, honestly.
Favorite exercise in the gym or conditioning exercise and favorite technique?
Favorite conditioning kicks?
No. Conditioning,
no.
like I don't know.
Okay. Conditioning.
Squats, push-ups.
Like specific gym.
Specific.
Man.
It could be something that you can do at home. It could be something that you could do at home, like pull-ups or chin-ups or whatever.
I'm gonna have to say bench, like free weight bench.
Yeah.
Like bench press, because I don't have a chest. It takes so long to do it. And then favorite technique, definitely hook kick.
Hook. Oh yeah.
Yeah, hook. That's my favorite for sure.
Yeah, when it really does get a huge snap once we get it right. It's like, oh yeah, that
it feels so good.
Yeah, it feels good, man. It feels good. Least favorite exercise and least favorite technique.
Least favorite exercise is anything that's straight leg and lifting. So for PT, weighted ankle weights, just lifting your legs. Say anything where I have to lift my legs straight. Yeah. But specifically those.
Yeah.
Least favorite technique. This is gonna sound weird, but probably spin back kick. I really don't like it. I don't know. I mean, I do it, but yeah.
Not even on the bag. Doesn't it get a little bit of a that felt?
I do.
Good.
Honestly, I probably should train it more. I probably like feel better about it. I do it, and I'm just like, I probably maybe I'll get some tips from you. Because I feel like I did like on the amount. No, honestly, the amount of power that I feel like I get from spin hook kick comparatively to spin back kick.
Okay.
I don't feel that same.
You don't feel as powerful doing the spinning back kick.
As powerful doing that. Yeah. Even though I like to. So I'm definitely gonna ask you. I was like picking people's minds.
I just think squeeze the glute and pierce through and don't keep going around like
keep going.
Yeah. Usually people keep going, but it's not your case, obviously. So you're being too modest. Come on.
I don't know.
Favorite movies, and I'm gonna put two categories here: martial arts and not martial arts related.
Ooh, and not martial arts. All right. Well, martial arts ones are easy. I mean,
you can say more than one.
I'll say two.
Yeah.
Two. I'll do two. Surf Ninjas.
Okay.
Even before I didn't even know Ernie Reyes Jr., that one has significance because I really wanted to see that specifically in the movie theater, and I missed it by one day.
Oh, man.
So it kind of killed me. And I got
the best line.
Once I got that VHS. Oh.
The best line money can't buy knives.
Money can't buy knives.
Is it your favorite one as well?
That I know people. Oh man, yeah, that's the best.
Kwanzaa, dude.
That and Rumble in the Bronx.
Oh,
Rumble in the Bronx is we quote that movie, like Ryan from my crew and I quote that movie all the time and do variations off the way of the delivery of the lines, and obviously the fights are amazing.
Oh yeah.
His first big one in the US, and now it's like, okay, it's all right. People know who Jackie Chan is now, so I can actually like converse with people about it, because it's like,
even though I think
it didn't come out for so long.
it didn't do that well in the US, I guess, because I think only later on when he did Rush Hour, that's when he really catapulted himself into the, I think so. I might be wrong. I don't know.
I think he was known. Like when I went to school, people knew who he was at least.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good.
At that time. Yeah.
At least that.
So it's like that. Maybe it was at least that. So, but yeah, being able to see him on like the big screen for the first time, because that was like 95, I think. Or around
it was
there.
my first time too watching
like
Jackie. Yeah, it was my first time too watching Jackie in the big screen.
In the big screen, I was like, "Whoa, this is crazy!" Because I've seen him on like TV, like The Big Brawl, which is an American movie. And all the big, old VHS stuff. I was like, "Oh, dang, this is nuts!" And very, very dubbed over, but
yeah. Uncle. Yeah, when he's calling his uncle.
So
but I think it was his voice. I think it was his voice anyways, but it was so dubbed over.
But the dub is amazing.
And favorite non-martial arts movies?
Favorite non-martial arts movie? Oh man. What will I say? Oh, you know what? I'll have to say Back to the Future.
Wow, love it.
Back to the Future. I have a way more like what's it called? Not enthusiasm, but respect for like the math that they did in that movie to like all the little details that you as a kid you don't really notice, and then later on it's like, whoa, they really thought about a lot of different things. So
you're not
really
noticing the details for sure. Check out my car, man. You're not noticing my car.
Oh shoot! Honestly, like the webcam is right in the middle, so I can look at your face. So it's like right under it. I was like,
so you can't see the DeLorean?
Dang, that's so sick.
Yeah,
I can see it now.
Oh man,
but it was like right in line with the camera.
I was holding this for half an hour. I was like, oh, we can see the details.
It was literally like it would be like this. I'm holding it right now.
Yeah,
but yeah. Dude, that's sick.
Check this out. What movie is this from? This one.
Talk Boy, Home Alone, man.
Yeah, Lost in New York.
Dude, Talk Boy.
Peter McAllister.
Yeah.
Peter McAllister.
Yeah.
The father.
Yeah. I can't believe you have that thing. I wanted that thing so badly.
Oh,
yeah,
you
have all the cool toys.
No, it was actually quite cheap on eBay. Someone from the UK actually treated it quite nicely. It does look good still, and it's not a bad one. Yeah. Nice. I love Back to the Future. Back to the Future is an amazing movie. It's one of those. Yeah, it's actually one of those. Just like you said, it's one of those that when you keep watching it, it's like more details. It gets better and better and better every time.
Oh
it's great. Yeah. Favorite fight scenes.
Oh
yeah.
I looked at one of your things and I think so too. It's like Benny the Jet Urquidez and Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man.
Yo, that's honestly another. That's another fight where it's like when I first watched it as a kid, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. But then now having more understanding and like the fight beats and story behind it. And just the physicality of that whole entire thing is just freaking crazy, especially for a one-on-one fight to make it that interesting. And then how it's a lot of it's like wide where you see their whole bodies. Man, that's like just amazing physical performance.
Yeah, oof. I'm still yet to see a fight that keeps me going as much as that one, for sure. And the one they did in Dragons Forever is amazing too. But Wheels on Meals, it's got that special flavor. It's really amazing. Yeah, I would have to agree. And favorite actors from martial arts and
favorite? Well, you know that Jackie Chan, bro.
Yeah.
Who else? I mean, martial arts wise, Bruce Lee. You have to say Bruce Lee.
Yeah, you gotta say Bruce Lee.
Jet Li. There's. I mean, they're all different, but have impacted in different ways. Like Donnie Yen. She's really. I think even like Keanu Reeves too. Because of the way that he trains and then how he works with like stunt people. Like I haven't worked with him personally, but just like the stories. It gives a different respect to you watching him and the work
Yeah.
that he puts in for these movies. That Scott Adkins.
Yeah, he's been an amazing influence worldwide in terms of protecting and showcasing the work of the stuntman. And
Oh yeah,
yeah, it was such a huge investor
yeah,
in our realm, in our reality. So I really think we owe him a lot for that for that for that basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And let's finish off with this question: who would play, other than you? Who would play your life movie? Who would be the actor to play you in your life movie?
Dang, there's like it's hard to say that one. Obviously, because there's less Asian action actors out here that are younger than I guess, younger than me.
No, you can refer to someone who's a little bit older. You can say, I don't know, Martha Cascos, and he'd be
Martha
great at it as well.
Dang. Shoot, I would know I would want my stunt doubles, but for sure. Dude, I think I would have my friend Justin Chon play me. Justin Chon, he's more so directing
Mhm.
now, but he's an amazing actor in his own right. You probably don't know him, but he's um had a few films come out. Check out Justin Chon, amazing
Yeah.
actor, amazing writer director.
Shout
And
out.
then I would have someone else stunt double. Might have to do some camera angles because they'll be a little bit taller, but maybe like I'd have like Jeremy Marinas or some
Oh,
guy
yeah.
double me that make me look real good.
Oh yeah, Jeremy Marinas is amazing. Just to finish off, so I believe this should come in the form of not only you obviously answering the question, giving a little bit of insights into your own life, but also as tips for people who have gone through hell with this COVID or something else, or pressure from their jobs or their career, their sport. So you were talking about how you had to reassemble yourself mentally in order to deal with a lot of the stuff that has happened in your life. What type of exercises, activities, how did you change? What type of tips or tricks did you use with yourself to get by?
Well, for my injury phase of my life, I just started reading a lot more, like sports
Yeah.
psychology. I read a book from Timothy Galley, the inner game of tennis. That was really inspiring, just as a teacher.
Great
And
stuff.
learning skills. Super good. It talks through tennis, but it's about sports psychology. So
Mhm.
that's a really good one. Another book that I read was So Good They Can't Ignore You. And that is about people that have a unique skill set and in success. And usually it's mastering one thing and mastering a completely unrelated thing and being able to infuse those things together. A lot of the stories relate to that. So I saw a lot of parallels in my life with dance and martial arts, or pretty much everything kind of rooted in martial arts, but being open-minded enough to immerse myself in a different skill set. And then when you can do those two things together, then you're the go-to person to do that, which was like tricking at that time for me, was like the martial arts and then acrobatics, and then incorporating that into like film things and dance movement, stuff like that. So that really, when I look back, that was like a lot of my successes were just unknowingly doing that.
Wow,
So when I was reading all this stuff, it was making me feel like, okay, so since I can't do things physically right now as much and progress in that, I need to focus on some acting, or watching film and doing breakdown, and when I come back I can teach better and teach myself again as well. So it's like I had a lot of things to do mentally that I incorporated into my physicality once I was able to do a little bit more. So I didn't have as much fear. I definitely had fear coming back because testing it out for a little bit. But as you saw a little bit later on, I was able to do my whole vocabulary of movement when I came back to performing. And that just gave me the confidence to that I was able to like perform again, because I didn't really know if I wanted to perform live and use my body for things. So that was a big question, but I was ready if I was ready to make a different step if needed be. So I was okay with that. And watching people that have gotten injured before, and watching and listening to people that have gotten injured more severely than I have. So it was kind of serendipitous that I was getting a haircut and I was about to have my surgery, and I was super scared. And the person before me was older lady that had the same surgery I did. And then she was like, yeah, well, told me about it, talked it through with me, said, yeah, it's like, I used to have the same symptoms as you, and now I don't have them anymore. And I can, I got on with my life and blah, blah. And that helped me immensely. So like talking with people that have gone through it and overcome things, it's like, I was reading stuff on like Bruce Lee and like philosophy things, all that, just like, and not just staying busy, but it's like being open-minded enough to not feel isolated, because I did kind of feel isolated because all my friends were off on world tour. So actually not isolating yourself and then open yourself up with your mind to new things.
Knowing that there's still a lot going on and working around the injuries, just like we do with our bodies. If the wrist is hurting, why not work the legs or the abs or the shoulders? So you kind of did the same thing with the overall. Instead of my physique or my body can't perform as I usually did right now, so I have to step a little bit outside of that, and you find great things in what you hadn't been doing over the years. And any sort of meditation ritual, did you incorporate any of that as well?
Yes, definitely. I think when I started doing acting class too, I did a 2-year conservatory out here, and that helped me just center myself and get to know myself in general better, and that it's okay to like not put up this more macho front. I mean, I'm pretty happy-go-lucky, but it's like everyone puts up their walls and such. So it's like we always started out with a meditation, and just to center yourself, to start be in the now. It's so cliche, but it's like being focused and in the now, not having helps. If you practice that, it helps you with your focus in general, and that goes along for anything that you do in your life. So just being able to be there and then do what you're there to do in that moment, is a practice. So it's a skill, so practice it.
Yeah. Steve, thank you so much for this. I mean, this is amazing to share not only your experience. I think a lot of people will get a lot of tips from this, and the road might be bumpy every once in a while, but obviously you can always do a flash kick over it.
I hope so, for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time. And thank you so much for the online classes. Everybody should check out. You're pretty much Steve Terada on every social media channel, right? Platform. Like on Instagram, platform. On Instagram, on Twitch. Where else?
Yeah. Those are my main ones right now. I do have them. Hopefully, I always say this, one day I'm going to start doing more YouTube videos. It's been about like 5 years or something. But, we've been talking about it. So
tutorials, techniques.
Yeah.
I mean, who's better than you to do that?
They have YouTube Shorts now even too, so I don't have an excuse. My friend just brought up yesterday. It's like, oh, you can produce shorter content. I was like, all right, we will see. Same thing, Steve Terada. So
yeah. Thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.